So for today's mobility session, then we're going to start on the ground. We're going to do downward dog. Then we're going to paddle the feet for 20, so 10 times each side. And then we're going to relax into child's pose in between. If I go at an angle so that you can see. So if you're into this position, into downward dog, feet and hands are to the inside edge of the mat, okay? And then you're just going to gently press your heels down towards the ground 20 times in total, 10 each side. Just slowly, don't rush it. Yeah. When you've done 10 to 20, just drop to your knees, sit back into child's pose. And we're going to repeat this twice more. Okay, back into downward dog position. Just hold there for a second and then just gently paddle the feet. You might find that this time your heels touch the ground, but you don't need to force it. Just nice and gentle. Can you feel a difference between sides? And when you've done 20, drop to your knees, sit back into child's pose. Big work. Again, last round, come back into downward dog position and gently paddle for 20. And then last time, just sit back into child's pose for me. Okay, this time, if you just look up a second, when we go into child's pose, just bring your hands a bit further forward. So when you sit back and drop your head to the ground, your bum doesn't sit onto your heels. So you'll just get a bit more of that mid-back, upper back stretch. Okay, we're going to hold that. Okay, go. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds. So you're not quite sitting onto your feet this time. Your head can touch the ground. Get that nice stretch to your back. 10 more seconds. And then sit back down onto your heels for me. Coming out of that position. Okay, so this next one we've not done before, so I've got a better face on showing you this one. So you're lying flat onto your front. Okay, and then bring your hands kind of forward, then together, like this. Okay, relax the feet down. Okay, from this position then, you're going to open up to the side, come back down, open up to the other side. You can come all the way down on mics in the way, in between just to relax off. Then come up and twist. And just keep going until you've done 10 on each side. Again, do you notice any difference side to side? So I feel a bit more restricted as I go to the left. And over time, with regular practice, we're looking to minimize any kind of imbalances. So any progress that you make, it's a big win. Well, don't force it. It's got to come nice and easy. 2 more I've got. Yeah. Okay, just sit back into child's pose a second and relax. Okay, now onto all fours. Take your hand and to the side of your head, your elbow is down, and then we're going to rotate up. Okay, we've done this many times for the thoracic spine. Do 10 on each side for me. When you've done 10 on each side, just sit back into child's pose again. You sit back into child's pose. Okay, come back up. We're going to repeat, do another set. Don't rush it, nice and steady. I always say don't force that end range because there's no benefit to be made from it. The only thing is you could end up injuring yourself. So it's just about working through these ranges of movement that are often neglected so that we don't lose these ranges of movement or so we can restore it. Nothing to be gained from forcing anything. Okay, and relax into child's pose. Okay, we're going to go on to our backs. Okay, this one I like. I haven't done this one for a while. You need room to be able to take the legs wide. So you're going to roll back. Just move my mic out of the way, otherwise it's going to hurt. Roll back, and then as you come forward, you take the legs wide. So you roll back like this, come forward, take the legs wide, and then just touch in front, okay? And we're going to do 10 of those, okay? You ready? When you're ready. Again, don't rush it. I need to move back because my heels are hitting the concrete and it's not very nice. I just got 2 more. Relax, good work. Okay, from here, just cross your legs and shift forward a bit because the sun's right on me. That's it, just gonna be better now. Okay, sit cross-legged. All I want you to do is put your right hand onto the side of your body, onto the floor, and then we're going to reach up and come over and hold. Okay, so reach up nice and tall, directly over to the side and hold. What I don't want to happen is I don't want your left hip to come off the ground. Okay, so keep the legs in the same position, just reach over. Okay. And breathe in and out through the nose slowly. So in for 4, out for 4. Okay, let's switch sides. Reach up and over. Make sure the hip doesn't come off the ground. Five more seconds. You come back to the center. Now I want you to put your left hand on your right knee, your right hand behind. I want you to look over your right shoulder and just hold. And then let's switch sides. Right hand on the left knee, left hand down. Look over the left shoulder. That feels tighter for me this side. Remember, there's always going to be a degree of imbalance because we are dominant on one side, and most people. Some people are cross-wired, but most people are dominant one side of the body. So there's always a degree of imbalance, but we just always want to try and reduce those imbalances. Otherwise, they do tend to lead to injury. Okay, I don't want to put ideas in your head. They don't always lead to injury. Some people are so imbalanced and they don't get injured, and it's amazing. I don't know how it happens, but so I don't want to put any ideas in your head that you might be injured if there's imbalances, but we always want to minimize the risk. Okay, so now we're going to take our, you have to be careful what you say, the head to the knee. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Again, don't force it. If the head doesn't touch the knee, it's fine. Okay, I would have to force it to get my head to touch my knee this morning, so I'm just slightly off on this side, which is fine. What you'll find is if you use your breath work and breathe in and out slowly, you'll probably get lower and lower. Okay, gently come out of that. Right, let's go over to the right knee. Oh no. This side is tight this morning. You can put your hands either side on the floor, kind of helps with balance, but again, don't force it. A little bit longer. The idea again is not to lift up. If I lift up the opposite butt cheek, then it's really easy to get my head to my knee. That's what's called cheating. Okay, gently come back about that. Okay, let's take our feet wider than our mat again, and we're just going to drop our knees into internal rotation. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. Just nice and slow. So sitting slightly back, just onto your hands, and then just let your knee. If it touches the ground, great. If it doesn't, we know not to force it. And then just note how it feels side to side. That actually feels. I was going to say pretty even. It is a little bit tighter on the left, maybe. Yeah, a little touch tighter. I remember how long ago it was, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe slightly longer. I had an injury. Everything on my left hand side pre-injury was much tighter than the right hand side. And I remember going to see an osteopath, and I said, I think everything's a little bit tighter on the left. And she was like, you're not kidding. And I worked really hard now because that did result in an injury. Trying to reduce those imbalances, and it's still there a little bit, but finally it's so much better than it was. And that's all we're ever trying to achieve. Any small degree of change can be a massive, dramatic difference for the body. And relax. Okay. Right. So, okay. Yeah. Let's go. Hang on. Yeah, let's do, sorry, let's do rotation, okay. So let's go, I couldn't decide what to do next. Let's go for one leg in, okay, and one leg straight. I'm going to lie back in a minute, okay, we'll come forward a bit. I just want to show you what we're going to do. Is you're going to rotate from the hip out into external rotation and in into internal rotation like that, okay. But I'm going to lie back and we're going to do it for 1 minute, okay. When you're ready, go. So think about a movement coming from the hip, not the ankle. I'm not trying to force the ankle to the ground. That doesn't do anything. We're just trying to think about the movement at the hip joint. Sometimes it helps, I think, just to put your hand near your hip and just feel that rotation. Rush it. Most of the time when I say don't rush it, it's because I'm rushing. And then cover. Okay, let's change size. And let's go to the other side and see how that feels in comparison. That's so weird. I'm like, on this side, it goes so easily into external rotation. I feel like it's really restricted on internal rotation. And then on the left side, it's the complete opposite. I see so many people every week. Some people are new, some people I've seen for a while, and everybody is so different and so unique that it always stays interesting. Try to put pieces of a puzzle together sometimes. Feels like it's free enough a bit now into internal rotation, which is what we want. Right, let's do another set on the other side, okay? Go for it. Just put your hand at the top of your hip and see how it feels. It feels harder going into external rotation on this side. Quite a lot harder. And that's imbalance. This is why my squat is not perfect. Yeah, I used to be really off, like really off. Really would shift to one side, one knee would go out, one knee wouldn't. It was a whole host of a mess. It's almost there now, but when I get tired or the weight's heavy, I can see the shift again a little bit. So it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better. Ten more seconds. And that's okay. Change sides. That's good. The other thing is you want to keep your leg nice and straight. Okay, don't bend at the knee. So that feels easy. Really good exercises. I really like it because especially when you're lying down as well and you're not looking at the leg, you can kind of really feel for it and get a feel for that rotation of the hip. So I know runners always think about hip extension, and that's about it because that's what's happening in the stride length is the hips extending out behind, but we've got lots of other ranges of movement at the hips. And we lose these range by things like sitting a lot, driving a lot, repetitive motion like running lots and lots and lots, not doing exercises that require as much rotation. And recover. That's why it's interesting instead of working with people who different sports, because you see, you will see completely different issues with different sports. Okay, so let's turn the mat around, let's go frog pose with movement. So we're going to move forwards and backwards. What is the time? Okay, we've got time. Okay, so you're in frog position, so you take the knees wide, okay, till you feel the inner thigh stretch. So bring your feet outwards of the knees. Can you see my feet now? And all we're going to do from here is rock back, or be careful because it's quite intense and forwards. Just gently does it. Okay, I'm going to do this for 1 minute. Okay, just rock back gently. You'll feel the stretch and forwards. If it's too intense, bring the knees together a little bit. In gravity yoga, we hold the stretch for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. So using your breath work, you've got a chance to relax in to the pose. And the idea with the breath work is to teach your body that it's safe and that we're okay in that deep stretch. And then the body starts to relax off and changes happen. If you don't do the breath work, the change isn't as profound. The only reason really gravity yoga works well with runners is because runners are so flipping tight. And just holding a stretch for like 20, 30 seconds is going to make no difference at all. Just need longer. 10 more seconds. After this, we'll do cat and cow for 20 repetitions, and then that will see us to the end of today's session. Okay, so on all fours, okay, You're going to do it with me, okay? And we'll count the repetition. So you're going to inhale into cat. So arch the back, okay? Inhale, and then exhale into cow, okay? So you tilt the pelvis, lift the head. Okay, inhale into cat. Good, arch the back. Exhale into cow. Okay, now keep going with those movements for me. We've done 4, we're going to do 20 in total. Now, what I want you to do is think about the movement coming from the pelvis first. So initiate the movement with the pelvis. And then think of it like a wave, okay? Like pelvis first, then your lower spine, then your mid upper back, then your neck, then your head. Like a wave. What you don't want to do is shift forwards and backwards in this pose. So try and stay pretty static where you are. Just think about the movement, starting with the pelvis. Dropping up. Yeah. I have no idea how many I've done. So I'm going to do 4 more. Nice and slow with this. Really mobilizing the pelvis. And then just sit back into child's pose for 1 second. Just relax here. Relax, relax, relax. And then come out that we're done. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that this morning. And thanks for coming. Okay, good luck.